You are now in the realm of enlightenment and transformation, as brought to you by the Foundational Friday. Our core aim is to present an experience, an opportunity for your soul to reascend to its place of origin by cultivating a healthier spiritual awareness and emotional maturity. This show serves as a free offering to the greater community and an addendum requirement for all ANU spiritual training students. For all those listening, if you'd like to move closer to the calculations and fundamental understandings of the ANU order, be sure to pick up the book, Grasping the Root of Divine Power. If you desire a spiritual reading to help you map your current spiritual position in the face of your world and learn the greatest pathways for your fortune in this season, you can go to the SaduluHouse.com. That is SADULUHOUSE.com. You can also go to OrishaReligion.com to find out how you can become a student and member of the new spiritual order. That's ORIShaReligion.com. Let us begin.
According to legend, there was a time when Earth was pure, free of all evil, unicorns, pearl-paved pathways, skies so bright, the night no problem. When only positivity polluted the conscience, and something went wrong. My name is Insight. Let's go. Waterfall slows down, breeze, the sun leaves. Cumulus clouds overshadow the area. A cave had appeared with a glowing interior. The theory of primates appeared at the seashore. Search for the knowledge in a natural resource. Mind-found power in the force of a narrow path leads to sacred travelers that expanded to a huge community. Trees clouds down, make room for you and me. Machinery to use spread more pollution. Scientific breakthroughs form illusion. Positive intentions make the negative easy. Sleazy, self-spectacular species. Reach keys in life, mixing your own formula. Curing the conscious, develop the medicine. Practical principles expose better things. It's the God. Of your world. It's the God.
Yes, greetings one and all, gods of Yoruba. I am your host, Yuya Assaan-ANU, Chief Jegna of the ANU Spiritual Order and head instructor of the Sadulu House Spiritual Institute. And bringing you again another Foundational Friday, but of course tonight is not Friday. And I'm doing a show at a different time, mainly because I've been doing so much work, so much running and getting some things in preparation for the ANU family, and some new things that I have coming forth, some new services, some new opportunities for everyone to kind of highlight and showcase what they're doing. That kept me so busy that I had to reschedule, our sessions for a couple of days and change the time. But hopefully that gave you all opportunity to go over some of the old sessions and refresh your notes and make sure that you're on point with everything that we've been doing up until this point. As I always said, you may have noticed every last Friday of the month, I actually offer you all an Orisha, or at least archetype, breakdown, aside from the other subjects and concepts that we work on. So this session, we're going to get into the energy of Osaiyan. And, Osaiyan is an energy that's not spoken about very much. And I'm going to get into why that is. But before I do, I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping, as we always do. I want you all to remember November 1st, November 2nd, I'll be running a special on all our new family products. That's our readings, our classes, and even some of our products. You can go on the site on Orisha Religion to check that out. And that's in honor of Day of the Dead. It's November 1st and November 2nd. And, you can also go to Orisha Religion and under the Egun section, the Egun section, you can get more information about what the Day of the Dead is and, how it's celebrated around the world. And what I decided to do was, or what I was led and called to do, was to give our offering to the Egun on that day in the form of discounted services to the public by 50%. For all reading, all types of reading are 50% off on that day. So you can get certain readings from me for as little as $8. Okay, and that will only be for 2 days. For those of you who want to jump on that, and some already have, they've been signing up for readings on the 1st and the 2nd. I suggest you do that. And of course, the classes, which are normally $99, will be $50 for phase 1 of the new spiritual training. One of the things that I've been working on that's kind of had me really preoccupied and really focused in on it is phase 2 and phase 3, which I'm getting ready to release. Phase 2 is pretty much done, but I just actually went back and tweaked some items on it before release, and I'm really looking forward to the learning populace being able to take advantage of the things that I'm able to share through this online medium and this remote medium. And I'm so grateful for it, to be able to share these things and more importantly, to be able to create an interactive online experience for the people who are remote. We have people who are signed up for our classes internationally, really from all over the world, from the UK to Japan, Germany, Cuba. We have people all over. So I'm, and also the Caribbean islands. So I'm very thankful through the use of technology, the implementation of technology, that we've been able to touch and reach out to so many different people at such great distances. So with that said, I really wanted to just kind of cover that and make sure everyone has a heads up. If you guys have not been checking out the Yuya Assaan-ANU show, I suggest that you do so. Yuya Assaan-ANU is a show that's ran and operated by my students, Ifawumi, Oshundele, Wole, Mongo, Ifa, and Omilade. And they have been doing an excellent job, very professional, and it's very tight in terms of the guest selection. The questions have been excellent. And these are people who, I want you all to tune in. Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern. But tune in because these are students who are very quickly bringing themselves to the level of workers. Not just in terms of working with and for ANU, but also in terms of showing what they are capable of presenting to the community in terms of their spiritual insight. And we have 3 people who are very insightful and extremely inventive and creative in their own perspectives of Pan-African spirituality, which is what the show centers around. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely. Last Sunday we had the Honorable Mwalimu Bomani Baruti on, and that was an excellent show. He enjoyed it. We enjoyed listening to it and being able to exchange with him. And as many of you know, especially with those who have a copy of Blasphemy Divine Power, which all of my regular listeners should have by now, that I cited him in the book, in the dedication, as well as African House down there in Atlanta, as someone who I value and I honor very much. And I've always valued and honored the insight and direction he's been able to give me on a personal level. So just one worker to an elder, I suggest you guys all check out that show. It was a beautiful experience. And, every Sunday has been some really excellent guests. And the last Sundays of the month, typically, we have the ANU Students Roundtable, which I encourage all the students to participate in. Don't just be a watchful observer. Sometimes our ego will put us in a place where we just really, we kind of just want to play the background because we just don't want to make a mistake in front of people or see something that we think it doesn't sound very intelligent. But, we're all on this journey. We're all learning, myself included. I'm a student, just like you're a student. It's just that my course of study may be a little further down the road, but I'm still a student. And I'm even open to scrutiny, and I'm even open to correction by my peers. Okay, so before everyone starts trying to send emails or calls. And I'll let you all know we are broadcasting live this late evening. And if anybody wants to call in and ask a question, they can call in at 347-945-7680. But in any event, it's really a beautiful thing for me as an instructor to be able to sit back and teach something and watch my students take it to the next level. That's just a beautiful thing for me to be able to see that and to participate and to watch them grow and people respond to them, like the guests who come on, to respond to them with a lot of respect. And that's really what it's about for me. It's kind of like me just planting flowers and watching them grow, for the most part. So I advise you to tune into a new SAFO, experience that with everyone. We really appreciate it. Also, we have a book forthcoming on shell divination, shell readings that you all want to get a copy of. And this will be a book that coincides. I'm not going to say it's Grasping the Root of Divine Power Part 2, because I am actually working on Part 2 of that book, because Part 1 has been so successful. But it certainly will serve as an addendum to Grasping the Root of Divine Power, and certainly will serve as a learning aid for those who are in the ANU spiritual training. And I just want to put a word out before we get into the show as well, at least the meat of the show, that, a lot of times people send me emails. All of you have been doing that, emails for me to contact you or to email you back or call you because you want more information about the classes. And there's a lot of information online. So you probably have noticed that I typically don't respond back. But I encourage most people to call in to either this show or call into ANU SAFO and speak to my students. If you want information on the class, best to speak to those who are actually in the class. And they may have a little bit more time to answer some more of your questions and things like that. So I encourage those who are looking for more information, or sometimes people just email me and say, hey, I'm just coming into learning about stuff and I don't know where to begin. Well, that's why I wrote these books, and that's why I designed classes. It was for people just like that. So outside of the body of work that I've already created, I don't really have maybe much to offer other than maybe some little details here and there. But if you're looking to get on the path and really take your spirituality seriously, if you come to that place where you're ready to do that, and I suggest, you pick up a copy of Grasping the Divine Power. Even if you don't have the $10 to buy it, you can get it digitally, I think, for like $3-4, something like that. So, it's very accessible. It's not a $19.99 book or anything like that. And it's not even a book that takes you a long time to read. I wrote it in a way so that the wording is very abstract and lyrical. So what that means is that it's not a very long book. You can actually read it in a day or two. But as everyone has noticed, everyone calls me back and says the same thing. Wow, I read your book, and every time I go back and read it, I get something else. So I find that I have to go back and get sticky notes and study each sentence that you wrote. And I did that on purpose. it's a book that's highly condensed and concentrated with information. But if you just fly through it, you're not going to catch it. Very similar to my new spiritual training. It's very, very, very dense with information. That was my style of presentation in the book and my style of presentation in the classes. So there's lectures in there. Some of them are only 20 minutes long. But that's a high intensity 20 minutes of spiritual information. Okay, so it's not something for you just to rush to and say, okay, I listen, I'm done. What's next? If you did that, you didn't get it. You know, and I guarantee you, even phase 1, if you go back and listen and do the activities a year from now, after completing it, you're going to get something again. All right, and that's the way it was designed. I just want everyone to kind of be aware of that, especially those who have kind of been flying through and thinking that they're done. It's not designed in that way. But anyway, I want to get into our subject for this evening, which is the Orisha Osaiyan. And Orisha Osaiyan, as I titled the show, the father of herbs. Most of the time we hear about Osaiyan, we know he's some form of earth energy. And, we see the Osun staffs, and we even have Osaiyan staffs and the Osaiyan gourds. And like I said, most people don't really know about Osaiyan. And they're really, you don't really find too many Osaiyan initiations. And many people will tell you that you cannot initiate into Osaiyan. This is actually incorrect. You can initiate into Osaiyan. Some people say he's too powerful, but they say the same thing about Olokun. You can't receive Olokun initiation. This is too heavy. He's too powerful of an energy. And that also is incorrect. So when we're dealing with the energy of Osaiyan, called Osaiyan, sometimes you'll see it spelled Osaiyan. But Osaiyan, either way, if you look at it, the first part of that word, you have Osa, O-S-A. I want you to make a note of that. Very important, Osa. Okay, and yes, Osaiyan is the father of herbs. Osaiyan deals with not just herbs, but plants and all things that grow on the earth. Okay, this is the realm and the kingdom of Osaiyan. And there's a reason why Osaiyan is so important in our tradition. If any of you Awo or Iemi for Babalaos are listening, you know that everything we do involves some form of herb work. Whether it be a plant or whether it be Omi Ero. And Omi Ero is herb water. Ero or Ewe means herbs, and Omi means water. And that's just a basic literal definition. It actually means more in its metaphysical sense. Because Omi doesn't just mean water. Omi also means serenity. The serenity of water. Okay. So, but when we're dealing with Omiero, we're dealing with certain elixirs, liquid elixir that's been infused with the ashe and the power of the herbs that the Awo puts into them, along with incantations and some other things. And each Omiero that is made is different. Everybody does theirs differently. If you were to make some herb water for Shango, I may choose herbs that the next person may not choose, based on maybe those herbs being accessible to me, or just which ones call to me the most. All right, so there's no set way to make Omiero. If someone tells you that, they're mistaken. Okay. But when we're dealing with the science and the energy again of Osaiyan, like I said, we're dealing with the science and the energy of earth energies, but more importantly, of plant life. And just so you know, in our Vodun, we have Loao, local, okay? Oftentimes spelled L-O-K-O or L-O-C-O, all right? And local is pretty much identical to Osaiyan. Same exact energy, father of herbs and plants, even the physical description is exactly the same. So these are the same type of energies. Even in our Apollo systems, we have Mpongo, which is very similar to Osaiyan. Same description, everything, father of herbs, so forth and so on. But here's an interesting thing about Osaiyan. And I'm going to read you guys a story. I'm going to try to read it quickly because, I don't want to fill up too much time. But you're going to find something interesting about Osaiyan, and it's going to coincide with what we're talking about in this session. And this story is dealing with with Ajapa. Now, just so you all know, Ajapa means turtle in Yoruba, right? Ajapa. And Ajapa is very similar to our Akan or Ghanaian Anansi. The stories of Anansi, the spider. Well, in Yoruba land, we have Ajapa, the turtle. And I advise all prospective people who want to study Yoruba culture and Yoruba spiritual philosophy and thought to pick up the tales of Ajapa. Any book you can find, just pick them up and read them. You're going to find that not only does it deal with, obviously, because anytime you're dealing with African mythology and tales, there's always a moral implement in the story. It's never just something violent and gory, like Little Red Riding Hood or something. Although there's a moral piece to that, too, which is dealing with chastity and staying on the road and not veering off the path, and a woman coming into her womanhood, or a young girl coming into womanhood. That's what the red comes in at the cape or the hood. But in any event, when we're dealing with a Japa, what happens is that, which is pretty cool, he actually deals with a lot of different Orisha energy, because this is a normal part of the stories. So what happens is that if you read these tales, which are read to children, you actually learn a lot about Orisha, and it's entertaining. I like reading the Japa tales a lot. But I'm going to read to you some of the Japa tale that deals with a Japa in a roasted peanut cellar. Okay, a Japa in a roasted peanut cellar. And here we go. There once lived in a Japa's town a famous woman, who was famous for the incredible mouth-watering roasted peanuts she prepared and sold at the daily market. Each day, market people waited expectantly for the breeze to waft the aroma of roasting peanuts to their nostrils, signaling them either to make their way to the woman's stall or to send a child or servant to purchase some of the treat. They simply would not feel right about starting their day until they had satisfied the craving, the irresistible aroma that uncannily provoked in them. There was no more faithful market goer than Ajapa. Not because he had anything to sell, but he was incurably lazy and incapable of addressing himself in any productive venture, nor because he had anything to buy, for without producing anything, he lacked the means to purchase anything. No, he was religiously at the market each day because he could always find some compassionate trader who would extend some alms to him. But each day at the market was also torture to him because, like everybody else, his gullet involuntarily commenced to swallow emptiness whenever the smell of roasted peanuts reached his nose. Unfortunately, that was one commodity no one seemed willing to share with him, and the peanut seller was herself a hard-hearted woman as far as the Japa was concerned. Nothing he did, no plea he made soften her to offer him even a taste of her peanuts. You made no gash on the palm tree, nor did you sling a shot to pierce the pith of the wine-producing tree, yet go to its base and expectantly you upturn your cup, expecting to receive some food from it. This is what the market tells us. You lift your mouth, your open mouth. Do you think palm wine flows of its own accord? She sneered at him in response to his importunity. Scolding with salt on the Japa's wounded pride, and being who he was, it was not long before his frustration and anger triggered his propensity for mischief, and he set about devising a way to get his fill of delicious peanuts from the mean seller. He sought out Okete, the giant rat. Okete, exactly. Write that down. Okete, who was renowned for his great burrowing prowess. and asked what it would take to get him to dig a tunnel from the nearby forest to the peanut woman's stall in the market. Okete assured Ajapa that if the latter would provide him with a sack full of palm nuts, he could consider the job as good as done. For once Ajapa submitted himself to the necessity of self-exertion, he scoured the bases of tens of palm trees in the forest around, gathering the nuts scattered thereabouts. Before long, he had the sack full to pay Okete. The latter lost no time in setting to work as he promised, and in no more than 2 days the tunnel was ready, its mouth right by the peanut seller's seat. Under cover of night, Ajapa sneaked into the market and concealed the opening with dried leaves, so expertly that no one could suspect its presence. That done, he went home to wait the propitious time when, as he told himself, the boil that had long plagued him would at long last be land. At daybreak, market goers flocked to their stalls as usual, and so did the peanut seller. The day had dawned like any other, offering no hint that it harbored any surprise for the traders, but Ajapa had installed himself at the mouth of the tunnel, just below the leaf covering, armed with his drum, and ready to act as soon as his nostrils announced to him the moment. He could not see any of the above-ground activity from his concealment, but he could hear it all. And from his perch, he began. When he smelled, his keen nose smelt the peanuts roasting. When he was satisfied that the seller had a sufficiently large amount of peanuts, he applied the stick to his drum, and he cracked open in song, and he began to sing. Peanut seller, dew linen air, crackle pop, crackle pop. Now, of course, the crackle pop is the drum. Okay, so just play along with it. Peanut seller, please hear my song. Crackle, crackle, pop. Shouldn't you be dancing? Crackle, crackle, pop. Yield yourself to my music. Crackle, crackle, pop. Leave your stall in my care. Crackle, crackle, pop. You really should be dancing. Crackle, crackle, pop. Peanuts crackling and popping. Crackle, crackle, pop. Peanuts popping and crackling. Crackle, crackle, pop. Had Ajapa but known it, and he had not been perversely addicted to idleness, he would have acknowledged his true calling and lived gainfully by it. For in truth, few creatures were capable of making music as irresistible as his. Music that could set the most reluctant feet dancing with abandon in spite of themselves. The effect of his performance on the peanut seller, on her customers, and indeed on everybody in the market was as Ajapa had hoped. All gave way to dance with such vigor that they were soon enveloped in a cloud of dust, and in the time it would take a crab to blink, their momentum had carried them almost to the other end of town. It did not matter if the music that got them dancing had long stopped, and that they had danced so far from its source anyway that they could not have even heard it, even if they had not. Befuddled and shamefaced, they returned like suddenly sober drunkards to the market, where they found the peanut seller's roasted peanuts completely gone. No other stall had been disturbed. She raised the alarm, and people quickly established a connection between the new musical phenomenon that had intruded to the midst and the disappearing of the peanuts. They had no option in such circumstances. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to the reading, because you learn some things by reading this mythology, and one of the things you learn is the connection of certain animals to certain ebos. All right? There's a reason I'm reading this. But anyway, so they had no choice but to report the incident to the Oba, and you know Oba is king, in whose charge the welfare of the town lay. Since the market was close to his palace, occupying a large open expanse in front of it, in fact, the Oba had himself been aware of the unusual commotion, and he was therefore not entirely surprised when his people trooped into his courtyard and asked for an urgent audience. On hearing the peanut seller's story, he concluded that the culprit must be a clever rascal, a daytime rogue with a taste for roasted peanuts. He consulted with his chiefs, who advised him to assign the task of apprehending the culprit and preventing the repetition of the visitation to the seasoned hunters of the town, whose task was always to keep thieves and burglars at bay. Beautifully, when all the hunters gathered on the market day, following their sporting their fearful weapons with festooned powerful amulets and charms. Notice this. Hunters always not only had their weapons, but they also had their magical amulets and charms. It's very important when you think about Ogun and Ochosi and Shango. They always mixed the physical weapons of hunting with some type of magical wanga or safo or charm. However intrepid the rascal, he was about to discover the mettle of the town's hunter, they vowed. A huge crowd, much larger than usually found at the market, had gathered to witness the confrontation between hunters and peanut fiends. The hunters kept the crowd back as best they could, positioned themselves around the peanut stall, and asked the seller to commence usual activities. She obliged and began to roast peanuts, but for a while nothing happened. Then after she had roasted a sizable heap of nuts, and just as the hunters and some in the crowd were becoming convinced that the phantom singer had allowed quick senses and to master his wayward appetite, the singing began again. Leave your stall in my care. This is the song. Crackle, crackle, pop. You should really be dancing. Crackle, crackle, pop. Peanuts crackling and popping. Crackle, crackle, pop. Peanuts popping and crackling. Crackle, crackle, pop. So basically what happened was they start dancing again, shortly. And they find themselves dancing to the end of the town again. When they come back, all the peanuts are gone. Okay? The hunters in disgrace convinced the Oba of the severity of the problem on his hands. If his hunters were powerless against the mysterious thief, perhaps he was no mere human after all. Perhaps the creature was an Iwin. Iwin. I-W-I-N. Just so you know, this is the Yoruba word for a fairy. Okay? Remember that. Fairy is Iwin. This is important when we're dealing with Osaiyan. With that suspicion in mind, he sought the intervention of his diviners and medicine men. They gathered at the market, and on the next market day, bristling with their own charms and assorted paraphernalia, all ready to make an end of whatever it was that plagued the town, or at least teach it to give it a wide berth thenceforward. When the singing began, however, not even the masters of mysteries could control themselves. They surrendered to the music just as all the others had done before. Now, what is mysteries? Mysteries is Awo. The master or the father of mystery is Babalawo, or Baba Elawo. Okay? So now, once sober again, they go through the whole thing. They realize, okay, even the Babalawos could not avoid, dancing and getting caught up into the sound of the music, right? So basically, then after that, they figured this had to be stopped. So the Oba could think of nowhere else to turn but to the Osaiyan clan. The Osaiyan clan. These were hunters, human-like spirits, endowed with great magical powers, and they regularly held commerce with humans as trouble solvers of last resort, especially when the trouble involved other spirits. In appearance, they were very much like humans, differing only with one regard to how many legs they had. Whereas humans normally had 2, and Osaiyan could have as many as 10 legs, and as few as 1. But they could not have 2. But the 2-legged Osaiyan would hardly be distinguishable from a human. When the Oba turned to them for help, the 10-legged patriarch Osaiyan assured him that he and his town would be rid of the music playing, peanut stealing once the next day. He gave instructions for the peanut seller and other marketers to carry out the routine the following day and leave matters to him. The patriarch assigned the tasks first to the 3-legged Osaiyan, the 1-legged, one being considered so handicapped that the idea of confronting the phenomenon was still ludicrous. The next morning, the first creature at the market was the prospective hero of the day, the 3-legged Osaiyan. Before anyone else arrived, he pronounced fearsome incantations on the peanut seller's stall and its vicinity, incantations designed to confuse and paralyze any wayward spirit that would venture near there. In the time the market filled up, this time with the Oba and his counselors in attendance, they would not miss the confrontations of spirits, nor a sight of the thing had so disrupted the life of the town at these past few days. When all the things were ready, Osaiyan gave the word, and the peanut seller began roasting peanuts, and of course we know what happens. The music begins again, right? And we know the crackle, crackle, pop, crackle, crackle, pop. So what happened is the Osaiyan danced so hard that he danced 2 of his legs off, and the Oba and his counselors were indistinguishable from the ordinary people when the effects of the music wore off. They all found themselves well away from the market. Unable to bear the disgrace, the Osaiyan clan went into conclave and vowed to bring the musical spirit to heal or permanently remove themselves from the vicinity of the town. They sent a 4-legged Osaiyan, didn't work. He ended up losing 3 legs. They sent the 5-legged, and he lost his legs. The 6-legged, so forth and so on. So they even sent the 10-legged patriarch of the Osaiyan, and they all ended up, going on the same thing. The music started, everything went under. So now the Oba was in a panic, and the chief duty of the ancestors entrusted to him was to keep the town and the community secure, and on his departure from this life to hand them in full security to his successor. If in his time the town was laid waste because some unknown creature disrupted its life, what report would he give to those who preceded him when he was reunited with them in afterlife? And just when he felt most hopeless, the Oba found the 1-legged Osaiyan standing before him. And so he says, "The crown will live long on your head, your majesty," he greeted the Oba. "So be it," the latter responded rather listlessly. "The shoes will stay long on your feet," the Osaiyan continued. "So be it," the Oba responded, again, almost showing his impatience at the visit from one of the frail clan of the Osaiyan. He had too much on his mind for pleasantries. "You have a message for me, perhaps from the rest of your kin?" he asked. "No, your majesty," the visitor responded. "I came on my own." "Well, it is about the nuisance that's causing you and your town all of this trouble." "Yes?" the Oba said, questioning. "I will catch him and deliver him to you," the Osaiyan said matter-of-factly. "You?" the Oba asked, hardly able to keep the incredulity from his voice. There was a glint in his eyes, but one of wonderment. The creature was serious, but he was also being ridiculous, the Oba thought. As the saying went, if an ago, which is a form of rap, fell victim to the snare, what chance had the Oloshe? And that's, now the ago is like a really smart rat, and the Oloshe is like a really slow rat. So ago is the smartest of the rats, and the Oloshe would be like a real slow one. So he's saying, you only got 1 leg, so how can you do what the other one's going to do? You got more legs. And he said, "I know what you are thinking, your majesty. The Osaiyan who have more limbs than I failed at the task, so how can I accomplish it? Remember, though, the needle may be tiny, but it is nothing for a chick to swallow. Let me at the troublesome wretch. If I succeed, you are well rid of the nuisance. If I fail, you would hardly be any worse off than you are now." The Oba consented to offer and consulted with the chief sitting around him. In the end, he agreed with his visitor. Since the town stood to lose nothing from the Osaiyan's tribe, he might as well be given an opportunity to prove himself. He needed 3 days to prepare, he said, after which he would be at the market to take on the musical nuisance. When the appointed day arrived, the market was so crowded, no one was able to really move around it. And there was no room for 1 foot or 1 arm. The 1-legged Osaiyan had come armed with a sharp iron spike and nothing else, that is, except the cotton that stuffed in his ears. He stuck his iron spike in the peanut cellar's fire until his tip glowed white hot. Then he instructed the woman to roast the peanuts. Of course, we know the same thing happens. Roast the peanuts, a japa starts playing a song. As usual, the whole city succumbed to dancing, including the other Osaiyan, whose restored limbs had not quite healed. So they were able to restore the limbs. Pay attention to that. The limbs fell off and they were able to restore them. Very soon, again, of course, everybody was dancing, and it carried him away. But as for the 1-legged Osaiyan, having stuffed the cotton in his ears, he heard none of the music, and having 1 leg only, he would not have really succumbed to dancing, even if he did hear. He spared only 1 glance from the disappearing crowd before riveting his eyes again in the stall. Soon he noticed the ground moving under the peanut sellers abandoned seat. Carefully he withdrew his iron spike from the fire and held it ready to strike. In a short while, a japa had cleared the dry leaf covering over the hole and was in plain sight. His eyes and minds were so fixed on the peanut they had paid no attention to whatever or whoever else might be around as he closed in on him. He felt a powerful muscle jerk, burning, piercing sensation in his nose. He writhed, writhed in pain, but his adversary was unrelenting. The Osaiyan spike went all the way through Ajapa's nose and impaled him to the ground. He screamed and squirmed painfully, and the Osaiyan showed no mercy. Ajapa became weaker and weaker until satisfied that there was no fight left in him. The Osaiyan relaxed his pressure, lifted him up, and carried him to the Oba's palace. Okay. So long story short. Okay, so this happened. Ajapa could see that he has no powers on Osaiyan, but they had the testimony of their eyes, the words of the Oba and the Osaiyan, and the confession of the prophet. Ajapa confessed, and the Oba decreed that it was only fitting that he spend the rest of his life serving the agent who proved powerful enough to apprehend him. Thus, Ajapa became a servant to the Osaiyan, and thus it came to be that, to this day, the sacrifice to Osaiyan is a tortoise. If anyone ever heard Ajapa's speech, he or she would notice it's pronounced nasally, the enduring legacy of Osaiyan's fight. Okay. Now, even though it may have seemed like I just read a child story to you, these stories are told to children. What I just gave you actually was the background on why we use certain things for Ebo. Whenever you're doing offering Ebo to Osaiyan, those of you who may know, a lot of times what's called for is a turtle. Okay? And when you're young and you're in Yoruba land and you're told these stories, you're prepared for how certain things go. You know, how certain work is done and why it's done a certain way, right? But also having that turtle as Osaiyan's consort or Osaiyan's servant. There's also another science around that. So let's deal with that. We know a turtle moves pretty slow, right? And a one-legged Osaiyan is also pretty slow. Well, what's interesting, if you look at the word Osa, which is in the spelling of Osaiyan's name, Osa actually means time. It means that not only in Yoruba land, but also in Medu Neter, which is the language of the Kemites, the land that we know, or the Nile Valley civilization, which we know to be as Egypt. Its original name was Tameri, Tameri, just for those who are interested in Kemetic structure and understanding. So, Osa means time, or it also can mean the way water comes to the shore, right? So it's like the tidal waves, or how the tide comes to the shore. So this deals with an aspect of time, and as you know, the turtle, which is a prehistoric creature, they live to be very old, very similar to crocodiles, and they move very slowly. They're also a symbol of time. Okay, and what does this have to do with the father of herbs? Okay, to make it very simple for you all, it's simple even for me, because I like stuff simple. Osaiyan represents alchemy. Okay, let me explain what that means. Osaiyan is not just the father of herbs, but let's not forget, herbs are food. He's the father of all things that grow and mature. Osaiyan is the father of all things that grow and mature. So that deals with even apples, oranges, spinach, callaloo, whatever. Osaiyan is the patron of all of those things. Sometimes we forget that when we're dealing with our Yoruba system or our traditional African spiritual systems. We kind of just think that they deal with Orisha and magic and stuff like that. But we forget that these systems are very complete, that everything is accounted for, not just what we do when we're in situations that require nudging, but how we also eat and how we regard our food. Okay, we give honor to our food and we instruct our food because our food is always an offering back to us from Osaiyan every single time. So if you understood that, and the Moors knew that, because when the Moors came up to Europe, they taught the European science of what we know now as the grace. We would say, thank you, Heavenly Father, for the food I'm about to receive, and then your Son, my Savior, Jesus Christ, amen. Whatever people say, right? But that was not what they taught us, that giving thanks. They never told them to give thanks for the food. They told them to charge the food, which is different, because your food is an ebo to you. I meant to say that. Your food is an ebo right back to you. Okay? So when you understand that concept, or you understand that science, then Osaiyan takes on a different meaning. Okay? But your food represents the things that change, transform, and mutate. And when you look at local, or you look at Osaiyan, or even in Europe they have what's called the green man, these are all images that always have some type of deformed or distorted image or presence. They're always physically distorted. So like Osaiyan, a lot of times you see him drawing like his eyes, one eye be bigger than the other. He'll have one leg bigger than the other, one arm larger than the other, stuff like that. And all of that is done on purpose. Okay, that is very purposeful, that presentation of Osaiyan. And what that basically represents is the changing and the morphing of things through alchemy. Osaiyan is alchemy. Your herbs, I want you to consider those who came here, okay? Those who had a diasporic experience, all of those Babylon who decided to allow themselves to be quote-unquote caught and taken from home into the next world, okay? And they came with the knowledge, the herbal knowledge and the spiritual knowledge, the celestial knowledge of Ifa. But of course, certain things were not found here. They didn't come to North American soils or even South American soils or Caribbean islands. They did not come here and find Oropo or Obi. They didn't find Kolonet. So they used other things. They used substitutes. And they performed alchemy on these substances to make them and to get them to speak to them. Okay? Because when you're doing any type of herbal incantation, you're doing any type of spiritual work, your goal is to get whatever you're working with to speak back to you. Okay? So I need to find some type of leaf that's prescribed in a certain ebo. And I know that leaf cannot be found on soil here in Turtle Island or in Mexim. Okay? If I cannot find that soil, that leaf in a Mexim, I can just grab the leaf that's right next to me. Boom. And then I will perform the alchemy just like George Washington Carver did. And I'll speak to the crystals within it. And it will transform and mutate into what I need. That mutation is signified by Osaiyan's appearance. Some of you may be familiar with the story of Osaiyan, of how he had the gourd of all the different herbs and the secrets and mysteries of herbs. And Shango and Oya were jealous of him and they wanted it. So he would always keep it in a very high tree where no one could reach it. So Oya caused a strong wind to come, and that strong wind knocked the gourd on the ground. And all the Orisha ran in and took different herbs with different mysteries, and that's why certain herbs are they're connected to certain Orisha, right? But again, when we understand the concept, again, and Osha Meji is Oya. The Osaiyan. Okay, so you see the connection between Oya and Osaiyan. But it's that transformation that Oya represents, is what that Odu or that Pataki is really teaching us. Oya is transformation. And herbs represents the full sustenance of life. Everything in this world that we're aware of comes from the small plan or the plan X, right? So everything that comes from the planet needs the planet to survive. I've told you guys this before. Wherever something comes from, it needs that exact same thing in order to exist and to survive. And actually, I'm going to take a caller. Caller with area code 901. You are on the Foundation of Friday. What is your question?
Hi.
Greetings.
Hello?
Yes. Greetings.
Hi. I don't know. I'm at the tail end of your conversation, but your name got me where it says that you're the father of their herbs. So that kind of draws my attention to calling you, and I may be out of line because I missed quite a bit of your conversation. Can you tell me? I'm emotionally eating, and I wanted to stop and it's almost like I'm in a trance, and I start to eat, and I'm putting on weight, and it's so unusual for me to just emotionally eat the way that I'm doing, and there's no way I should be doing this.
Well, first,
well,
Fred, I'm sorry. I'm listening. Okay. I'm not sure if we lost you or not, sister. But,
I'm on the phone.
Okay.
But I have a problem with this phone. It may go out on me. I'm not sure, though.
Okay, it's all right. Well, you were speaking about emotional eating. First, we're speaking about an energy known as Osaiyan. And Osaiyan is a concept of herbology. It's the concept of herbs. Okay, so that's actually not my name, but that's the name of the archetype that we're discussing. Now, when you're dealing with issues of emotional eating, the first thing that you need to determine is when exactly do you find yourself reaching for food, and what are the foods that you're typically reaching for. But more than what you're reaching for is you have to determine when is it. Like, do you find yourself reaching for something when you're nervous, or when you're, feeling a little lonely, or lack of love? Is that the first time you're going to reach for something, or is it scheduled?
Right now I am actually going through a humongous stress. I've been going through some stress, and I believe that has a lot to do with my emotionally eating. But I find myself, I'm not even hungry, and I'm thinking about just putting something in my mouth. And like earlier today, if I could get a hold of some sweets, and I try not to buy it at all, but I had some grapes. Raisins. I just went in there and got some raisins, and then I said, that wasn't sufficient enough for me. So I went in there and I saw something else to eat. I put on some fish sticks, and I ate that. Then I ate me some okra. But it's still, I'm just eating, and it's just causing me some issues, and I really hate it, and I shouldn't be doing that.
Okay.
And now my stomach has really got big, and and I never had it big up in the top part, but I always had it kind of fat down at the bottom, but now it's big at the top, and I said, oh God, this is the transformation. It's really changing. I know. Right.
You become okay. So here's the thing. First off, let's start here. Weight comes and goes, so we're not even going to discuss the weight because that comes and goes. That's not a big deal. But the reason why you're eating the way you are is because you've locked yourself into a pattern of procrastination. Okay, so you end up now eating as a form of accomplishment. So if you can go get get some raisins or get some okra, for that brief moment that you're eating, you actually feel like you're getting something done because you're starting something and you're finishing it. Okay, so what that really is that's your lesser spirit, the lesser part of you, the baser part of you, keeping you from getting your actual things done that you're supposed to get done. So you find little things to do that actually give you a small sense of accomplishment. And now for you, it's become food. If I make a sandwich and I eat the whole sandwich, at least I got something done. And what you need to do now, you need to go on a fast. Okay, and not just a fast because you need to detox and clean yourself out, but you basically have to starve that spirit that's distracting you. You have a distracting, oppressive spirit that's with you right now.
Right. Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why the issue that you're going through is getting worse. Okay?
Right.
So what you need to do, all spirits live off of something. Some spirits live off of air, some spirits live off of water, some spirits live off of food. They all live off of something. Now you have a spirit right now that's living off of your fear of confronting this issue that you're currently having right now that's causing all of the stress. You haven't been confronting it as boldly and as strongly as you know that you need to. Okay? So what it's doing now, it's using this food as a way to make itself stronger than you. So the way you get rid of that spirit is you remove its tool that it's using against you, and that's the food. So now what's going to happen is that once you remove that, you take the food out of the equation, other things are going to start coming up. You're going to start saying, you know what, I need to go get me some new light bulbs. I'm going to change all the light bulbs in my place. And you're going to be driving and taking buses all over the place that you don't really need to. You're going to start finding other little silly things to do. You know, I'm going to paint my bathroom. You know, stuff that really makes no sense. You know, and what you have to start doing is starving each one of those things out. You want to starve everything and break it down to the thing that you're supposed to actually be doing. So if you take a good 6 days, okay, take a good 6 days and go on a fast. And it doesn't have to be a complete, I'm not eating at anything fast. You know, you could do a liquid fast. You could do a greens juice fast. But what you do is whenever you feel that desire to eat something, you drink some of that green juice. So this would be something that's not really addictive, because right now you're now developing food addictions. And those food addictions are pattern programming that's now working against you, but it's feeding this demon. So I want you to be clear on that. You have a spirit that's on you, okay? And this is how you're going to spiritually get this spirit up off you. You got to go on that fast.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you, like 2 weeks ago, I went to the store. I bought me some distilled water, and I said I'm gonna do a fasting. I'm gonna have to do a detox. I know the importance of all of these things, but somehow it's just have encountered in trying to conquer my life. And so I'm fighting, like you say, I'm fighting this demon, and I just want it out. And it's just something.
You have to do what I just told you. Listen to what I just said. You see what you're doing now? You're now talking yourself out of what I just told you to do. And that's not you talking. That's that spirit talking through you. You already know what you have to do, and now you're saying, I don't know what to do. I'm trying to fight. I just told you what to do.
Yeah, so I'm going to do this 6-day fast.
Do the 6-day fast, and it's going to, I guarantee you it's going to stop after that. You do that 6-day fast, you keep your body very clean, okay? Yeah. You just do basic spiritual baths along that time. It's using salt and sugar mixed together. You put it in the bath, okay? And
salt
you very basic.
Sugar.
Take those baths, okay? Salt and sugar baths. Also get you an exfoliator. Exfoliate your skin. Okay, clean off the dead skin. Okay? And you do that during the time. Make sure you get a lot of sun. Do not wear sunglasses during this time. No sunglasses. To get yourself a lot of sun. Okay? And you're going to find it's going to go. But you have to face the situation. You got to stop running from it. That's what you're creating problems.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you for the call, sis. All right?
You're welcome. You too. Good night.
Okay, everyone. So we're back to, again, Osaiyan. And what we're dealing with when we're talking about Osaiyan, we're dealing with the science and the energy of alchemy. Okay. Alchemy deals with transformation. Period. You know, I know a lot of people talk about alchemy, and sometimes it can feel, or it can seem a little confusing, like it's a lot deeper. I mean, it's deep, but it can be like there's a lot more components to it than what there really are. But when we're dealing with the science of alchemy, you have 2 words or 2 concepts you got to pay attention to here. We have al, which means the definitive article, like Allah, or like el, and the are the same word. And we have kim. All right. Now kim means black, just like chemit or chemistry. So when we have alchemy, we have the definitive article of blackness, or the divine aspect of blackness. So now Osaiyan deals with that which sustains our very existence and transformative process on the planet Earth. Now we say he's the father of herbs, but it's so much deeper than that. It's so much deeper than that. The herbs are just a representation of what he's actually doing through us, and he's actually the father of alchemy. Osaiyan is the alchemical process that occurs not only through our focused will, but the alchemical process that also occurs through what we call time. Okay? That's why they say, all things change in time. Okay? So now when we're dealing with Osaiyan and all things changing in time, and that's why Osa actually means time, we're dealing with the aspect of things that are sustained through alchemy. All things on the planet are alchemy. And alchemy is the divine presence of blackness or darkness. And that's why Osaiyan deals with the earth. The things that are raising up and coming from darkness, and that may have a mutated appearance or a twisted appearance. But in any event, folks, we're actually going to do a part 2 on this. I'm going to get a little deeper on this. My time is running out here, and I'm going to do another segment, most likely tomorrow, on this Osaiyan. I see that people are still calling it at the last minute, but this was kind of an impromptu show, so don't sweat that. But in any event, I'm Yuya Assaan-ANU. It's been a Foundational Friday, even though it wasn't Friday. And listen out for me tomorrow. We're going to do a part 2 on Osaiyan, and I'm going to break down more what alchemy is in relationship to Osaiyan. He's so much deeper and so much more than just the father of herbs. Okay, he is the actual alchemical process of our bodies and of the planet. All right? So until next time, or tomorrow, we'll speak to him. Odabo.
We thank you for your listening support and urge you to become an active participating member of the ANU Order. Please be sure to follow our Ustream broadcast, which can be found at ustream.tv/channel/and-transformation. That is USTREAM.tv/channel/ENLIGHTMATION. Also, please be sure to sign up for the ANU newsletter, which can be found by going to anunation.org. That is ANUNATION.org. If you'd like to become a sponsor or an on-air guest on this or any of our other broadcasts, please be sure to contact us at questions@anunation.org. That is the word questions at anunation.org. Thank you for your continued support, and be well.
It's November 1st and November 2nd. And, you can also go to Orisha Religion and under the Egun section, the Egun section. You can get more information about what the Day of the Dead is and, how it's celebrated around the world. And what I decided to do was, or what I was led and called to do, was to give our offering to the Egun on that day in the form of discounted services to the public by 50%. For all reading, all types of reading are 50% off on that day. So you can get certain readings from me for as little as $8. Okay, and that will only be for 2 days. Now, for those of you who want to jump on that, and some already have, they've been signing up for readings on the 1st and the 2nd. I suggest you do that. And of course, the classes, which are normally $99, will be $50 for phase 1 of the ANU spiritual training. One of the things that I've been working on that's kind of had me really preoccupied and really focused in on it is phase 2 and phase 3 which I'm getting ready to release. Phase 2 is pretty much done. But I just actually went back and tweaked some items on it before release. And I'm really looking forward to the learning populace being able to take advantage of the things that I'm able to share through this online medium and this remote medium. And I'm so grateful for it, to be able to share these things and more importantly, to be able to create an interactive online experience for the people who are remote. We have people who are signed up for our classes internationally, really from all over the world, from the UK to Japan, Germany, Cuba. We have people all over. So I'm, and also Caribbean islands. So I'm very thankful through the use of technology, the implementation of technology, that we've been able to touch and reach out to so many different people at such great distances. So with that said, I really wanted to just kind of cover that and make sure everyone has a heads up. If you guys have not been checking out the Yuya Assaan-ANU show, I suggest that you do so. Yuya Assaan-ANU is a show that's ran and operated by my students, Ifawumi, Oshundele, Wole, Mongo, Ifa, and Omilade. And they have been doing an excellent job, very professional, and it's very tight in terms of the guest selection. The questions have been excellent. And these are people who, I want you all to tune in. It's Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern. But tune in because these are students who are very quickly bringing themselves to the level of workers. Not just in terms of working with and for ANU, but also in terms of showing what they are capable of presenting to the community in terms of their spiritual.
When earth was pure, free of all evil, unicorns, pearl paved pathways, sky so bright, no night, no problem. When only positivity polluted the conscience, and something went wrong. My name is Insight. Let's go. Waterfall slows down, freeze, the sun leaves. Cumulus clouds overshadow the area. A cave had appeared with a glowing interior. Inferior primates appeared at the seashore. Search for the knowledge in a natural resource. Round five power in the force of a narrow path leads to sacred travelers that expanded to a huge community. Peace clouds out, make room for you and me. Machinery be used, spread more pollution. Scientific breakthroughs form illusion. Positive intentions make the negative easy. Sleazy, spectacular species. Reach keys in life, mixing your own formula. Curing the conscious, develop the medicine. Practical principles expose better things. It's the God. Of your world. It's the
Yes, greetings one and all, gods of Yoruba. I am your host, Yuya Assaan-ANU, Chief Jegna of the ANU Spiritual Order and head instructor of the Sadulu House Spiritual Institute. And I'm bringing you again another Foundational Friday, but of course tonight is not Friday. And I'm doing a show at a different time, mainly because I've been doing so much work, so much running and getting some things in preparation for the ANU family, and some new things that I have coming forth, some new services, some new opportunities for everyone to kind of highlight and showcase what they're doing that kept me so busy that I had to reschedule, our sessions for a couple of days and change the time. But, hopefully that gave you all opportunity to go over some of the old sessions and refresh your notes and make sure that you're on point with everything that we've been doing up until this point. As I always said, you may have noticed every last Friday of the month, I actually offer you all an Orisha, or at least archetype, breakdown, aside from the other subjects and concepts that we work on. So this session, we're going to get into the energy of Osaiyan. And, Osaiyan is an energy that's not spoken about very much. And I'm going to get into why that is. But before I do, I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping, as we always do. I want you all to remember November 1st, November 2nd, I'll be running a special on all our new family products. That's our readings, our classes, and even some of our products. You can go on the site on Orisha Religion to check that out. And that's in honor of Day of the Dead.
Only just be
You are now in the realm of enlightenment and transformation, as brought to you by the Foundational Friday. Our core aim is to present an experience, an opportunity for your soul to reascend to its place of origin by cultivating a healthier spiritual awareness and emotional maturity. This show serves as a free offering to the greater community and an addendum requirement for all ANU spiritual training students. For all those listening, if you'd like to move closer to the calculation and fundamental understanding of the ANU order, be sure to pick up the book, Grasping the Root of Divine Power. If you desire a spiritual reading to help you map your current spiritual position in the face of your world and learn the greatest pathways for your fortune in this season, you can go to the SaduluHouse.com. That is SADULUHOUSE.com. You can also go to OrishaReligion.com to find out how you can become a student and member of the new spiritual order. That's ORIShaReligion.com. Let us begin.
According to legend, there was a time